My name is Fathi Karshie, and I am Seattle City candidate for position number 9. One of the main reasons that I'm running for the Seattle City candidacy is because I see in this economy a very good understanding. I do have a very good understanding of how to deal with such situations. Not necessarily because of my education or my experience, but rather because of the understanding that I have of other parts of the world. I came to this country as a refugee from Africa. When I came to this country, one of the first things that I did in order to survive is try to find a job, like most refugees do. And what I did was because I was not qualified to do anything, and due to the fact that I barely spoke English, I started working in a factory. Thereafter, I started working as a janitor, and for so many years, I worked as a janitor. While working as a janitor, I managed to go to school, um, get my degree. I have a political science degree, and I also did manage to get a degree in law. So my experience is as, as, as a refugee, I lived in a very hostile and very demanding environment. Spent so many years and on occasion days without food. So that gives me a background to understand the economy and how to deal with the severities in this economy. The Seattle City Council has a budget of the Seattle City, that is, has a budget of $3.3 billion a year, and in that budget, a lot of jobs are being cut by the day or by the month. As it was just announced a few days ago, the Seattle City Council, to save $10 million, will have to eliminate 65 jobs. Now, this priority lies with the Seattle City Council. I think as an outsider, I would be a very good voice for these demanding times. One of the things that I'm learning as I go around as a candidate is the idea of the fringe candidate versus the serious candidate. Apparently, I find this idea is very much prevalent and permeating the society. In a democracy, the idea of the fringe candidate should be abhorred. However, what I'm learning is the idea of the fringe candidate versus the serious candidate is something that is very much embedded into the society. For instance, the serious candidate is one who has some city government related experience, has or is affiliated one way or the other with the local government, or is very much entrenched into the establishment, both the political and the economical. The fringe candidate, on the other hand, is the total opposite. He doesn't know anybody in the local government, he's not affiliated with the local government, and therefore is all by himself or herself. Now, one of the things that you see, this idea of the fringe candidate is given to us by the vocal and the vision machinery, the media, into which the larger society is expected to buy. So far, I consider myself not to be in the serious candidate, not because I do not have the seriousness of the candidacy, but rather because the attributes given to the serious candidate I do not have. I am not experienced in the local government. I'm not established. I am not part of the establishment. I'm not part of the political and economic establishment. And therefore, I speak the language of the street. I speak for the people in the street. I speak for the people, by the people, and against the establishment and against the political and economical establishment. Therefore, just by the mere fact that I speak on those terms, I find myself in contradiction with the establishment. So therefore, this also means that I'm not endorsed as much as the serious candidate is endorsed, because my intercourse with the establishment is minimal. The intercourse with of the serious candidate with the establishment is very vital in getting him the money or her the money and the endorsement that she needs. I do not have that, but this is what I can tell you, that I will, if elected, would be speaking the vocabulary of the street, the language of the street. I'll be speaking against these establishments. I'll be bringing in a voice that's totally an outsider voice. I would not necessarily negate the establishment, but speak against the establishment. One of the things that you see in the Seattle City Council is that there is almost a dormant. The council is almost dormant on a lot of issues. If you look at the record, 99% of the time, 90% of the times, I would say, the council votes 8-1, 9-0 on almost every issue. For me as an outsider, that is suspect. How is it possible that 9 people sitting on the same table end up with the same voice almost all the times? This very much shows a lack of seriousness and seriousness of debate in the council. What I would do if I were to be elected is to bring some seriousness into the city, some debate. And the debate cannot be, and I assure you, cannot be brought into this council by people who have the same experiences. If you were to elect any other person who has good relationship with the establishment, both political and economical, who has worked for the city, who knows how the endorsement systems work, and who knows where to get the money so that he can speak for the establishment and by the establishment, that person would not in any way whatsoever bring anything new into the council. I think it was some philosopher who said that an insanity by definition is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. You are not going to expect a different result if you're choosing those people with the same attributes over and over. Now that's why you need me. I have a totally different experience, different attribute. When I came to this country, I had nothing. I barely spoke English, but I not only managed to speak English, but also attained both a bachelor and a master's degree. Furthermore, my experience as a child in the refugee camps gives me the ability to deal with the economical extremeness that is currently ongoing. I know how to deal with the situations. I know how to deal with people. In my experience as a volunteer, I dealt with professors, students, teachers, and also janitors. My experience as a janitor also gives me an upper hand. Not only do I have the ability to clean house, but I also have an ability and an understanding of what a clean house ought to look like, must be, and the meaning of what a clean house provides to the people visiting it. If I were to be elected, one of the for sure things to expect from me is that I will be the voice of the people that elected me. I am not, though I will be working with the establishment, I'm sure one thing that I promise is to bring in the concerns of the streets. So therefore, for instance, the homeless people, my understanding is none of the council members talk to the homeless people. I have one homeless person told me that because he is considered a nuisance in the downtown area, that he has been on several occasions been picked up by authority and then dumped away from the city, and therefore spending 7 or 8 hours walking back into the city. Now, that is completely inhuman. There needs to be a better way of handling the homeless people. I think what I will do is I will take those concerns as if I was myself a homeless person. What is it that I would want for me as a homeless person? And that firsthand information is what I would bring into the city council. I'm asking the Seattleites to vote for me As you might have taken a note, is that I do not have the needed money as other candidates. So I am out here because I believe in the goodwill of the Seattleites and the faith that I place in the Seattle people and the Seattleites in general. One of the things I would do as a I would like for you to do is there's a primary coming up in August 16th, is for you out to get there and vote. Your vote is a voice for change. You must understand this, that your vote for me is a voice for change and a voice to really tell all other candidates that you are in need of change. Change does not come by redoing the same things over and over. Change comes by doing something different. I'm asking for your votes in second week of August. Please go out and vote and make a change. I promise that I'll be your voice by all measures. You can also visit my website at karshie.com. Thank you, and thank you very much indeed.